Hello everyone, Eric Rogers here with Merchant Careers. I'm with Gabe Asor and Julie Rowe, your National Sales Director, and it is Friday, February 26th, TGIF, right? Thank God something's Friday. I don't know how that one goes. All I know is that it's been a very busy week, and this is my favorite day. This is Testimonial Friday. We're going to get to that, a little house cleaning first. All of you received this email, I believe last night or this morning, one of the two, and this is something that we're trying to get everybody's birth date. So if you want to do that, we're just going to use it for recognition purposes. And Julie, what did Sean have to say on who, do they email this back to us? I do see a hyperlink.
There's a link, and they need to click on the link so it'll actually put it in the system for us. So
right,
click
like
that
right
link
here.
right there. Put your birthday in there. That way we can, you know, recognize your birthday. Birthdays are special days for people. So, and
Yeah.
I'll just give a shout out to Mike Durrett. I don't know if he's on here or not, but he had a birthday. It was funny because he replied and he goes, "My birthday was yesterday." So happy birthday, February 24th to Mike Durrett.
Mike, happy birthday, buddy. Okay, and then guys, I do want to point this out. It's Testimonial Friday. I wasn't sure if Marilyn was going to be one of our co-guests today with Rick Bray, and I'm going to leave this up on the screen just for a moment because, you know, this is something that you're not going to satisfy or please all the people all the time. We get that. All of you are individuals, and you know, you're assigned a national sales director. We do these presentations every week on a weekly basis. We record these, so if you're busy, you don't have to, you know, if you're busy, go ahead and take care of your business, and then it's going to be up for a week. You can watch it, recording. And this is something that Marilyn took time out to write this. Okay, so she could be a semi-pro writer in my opinion, and this is something that she took the time out to respond to that email. I know a lot of you get bothered with receiving a ton of emails, and you can opt out if you choose. We try to give you some information that helps you in your business. We try to motivate you and get you out there because, you know, I heard Gabe this morning talking to a Ram. It is a numbers game, no doubt. And every merchant that you're speaking to already has an existing account. They're not doing anything differently, and you really are helping the people. Vonnie shed light on this morning with me too, is that you really are helping a merchant on a lot of different levels. We can help them increase their business. We can help them with their bottom line. You know, we can help them kind of get more modern and do some other things. So you really are making a difference. Okay, and I think Marilyn hit it right on the head, so I'm leaving this up for you guys to read. Hopefully you can see that size-wise as well. Let me make this thing just a little bit bigger, but this is a pretty nice testimonial in and of itself. So wanted to have that up, and Marilyn, I want to personally thank you, and we're going to get to you here a second today as well. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and, Gabe, if you want to help our boy here, Mr. Rick Bray, get on here. He's done a great job. Sorry if you're not a gray-haired person like myself. It seems like I see him every day pop up. But I guess for men it makes a difference. It's not that big of a deal, George Clooney-ish kind of person. I'm thinking of coloring my hair jet black, but I can't get anybody to do it. So without further ado, we've got one of our superstars on the phone with us. Let me unmute you, Rick, and I want to check your audio, and then you're already unmuted. Gabe, I want you to introduce, because you work so closely with Rick, I want to make sure that you are giving everybody just a little bit of info here. So Rick, you're unmuted. How are we doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We can hear you there, Mr. Bray.
Great.
So anyhow, I'd like to introduce you to Rick Bray, and we have a few stories that I think would enlighten quite a few of you that are on the webinar today. And Rick will explain it to you, but his big niche I guess we could put it that way, Rick. The niche right now is the medical, the veterinarians, the doctors. So without further ado, Rick, not take the thunder away. Let us put you on stage, my friend.
Great. Well, thanks, everybody. I got started back in November, like a lot of folks, and didn't do too much with the holidays coming up. But one thing I did concentrate on, I had a client, Fort Vet, who actually is a veterinarian that we started to go to about 6 months ago. And Fort Vet, they're just a small, what I consider a small veterinarian out in the country in Maryland. But I went in there. They were very excited. Oh yeah, we'd like to see what you could do for us. Well, of course, I made the mistake of kind of leaving the quote with them, and they went and shopped it and to their current processor. And of course, the current processor came back and said, "Oh yeah, I'll meet that." And so it's been round and round. But one of the things that I put out to them was, well, if they were so good, why didn't they save you this money quite some time ago? And when I pointed that out to the veterinarian, he liked that and realized how much money, because we were going to save them about $70 a month. And once he realized that, and all the years he's been with this company, and they realized that $800 a year times the 10 or so years they've been with them, that was a lot of money. So he definitely, through emails with his assistant and everything else, it took a while, but finally we've come out, and now they're getting ready to switch over to us. So that'll be done next week. And I have veterinarians. I know that they all talk, and I know that I'll get some really good referrals. I've already gotten one from them. And then we have physical therapists. I have a local physical therapist that goes, I've known him for years. He goes to our church, and I started talking to his wife at a party over the holidays, and they said, well, yeah, come in and see me. So I did a couple weeks back, and yesterday got the okay that this needs to get done. So it's actually 2 locations. It's a husband and wife physical therapy team. So we've got those under wraps pretty much now. And then the other one is an auto service place. I happened to call on him, knew him some time ago, and he said he was dealing with a local bank, and we wound up, in fact, their equipment was delivered, and it's being plugged in today. So I'm heading there right after this just to make sure everything went fine. So we're, and I've got a couple more that are in the works. The biggest thing is that each one of these people are giving me referrals, and I'm just simply asking them, hey, look, I've saved you some money. There are people that that will also save some money, right? And they said, absolutely. And I've already gotten, I guess, about 10 names total. Already contacted 2 and have appointments with them. So
fantastic.
We should be able to get some more business here in the next couple of weeks.
Very good, Rick. These are some awesome stories, and I can only kind of piggyback on this because Rick and I kind of go through the crunching, as I call it, the crunching of the numbers. I probably drive Rick crazy with that, but I just want everybody to really stop and think about this. I mean, even though he doesn't have 100 statements there, the numbers are just phenomenal with Rick Bray. I mean, he's talked about what, 4 or 5 merchants here. The closing, which I take my hat off. I mean, I'm like so pumped for Rick, is that his closing percentage is going to be 100%, meaning that we'll have 100% of his statements, proposals, agreements signed, boarded, and live, 100%. Nice job, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and you know what I really, Rick, Mr. Bray, appreciate you taking some time with us today is I appreciate that, okay, holidays was a little slow. January's a little tough. I still had to follow up probably a few times, and lo and behold, you're not going to be the first, you're not the last, where somebody takes a quote and shops it with their current merchant processor. And Rick did the correct thing, guys. One, he was persistent, and guys, it's opening up right now. Now you're in prime time. Into February, March, April, this is the time of the year for our business. For merchant sales, this is where you catch everybody before summer holidays. Now's the time, right, Rick? And you are closing, like I said, 100%, and you're asking for the referral. That's huge.
Yeah, and one of the things too, Eric, that I learned with going through the veterinarian, have him go back to his processor. One of the things I learned with that, because that was really my first one, with the physical therapist, I specifically said to them, now look, when you go back to them to determine if you have a buyout of your contract or early termination, all those things, they're gonna want to meet my quote and try to save your business. And he goes, yeah. And I said, but you need to understand that I'm here. I'm getting you this savings. He said, oh yeah. He said, don't worry about that. He goes, I'm already committed to doing business with you. So I addressed that because I was so upset the last time when this happened. I was like, holy crap, how could this happen? I save him money and now he's shopping. So I've addressed it right up front with everybody else, and and as Gabe had talked about, and learned from my mistake. And at this point, I'm definitely addressing it all the time up front.
Yeah, that's outstanding. And assume the sale, and that's where even before you get statements, we try to hammer this home in our trainings. Guys, hey, listen, if I'm going to do some work for you, I'm a busy person. I'm in this, to help you out. But if we beat your rate, you're going to do business with me, right? And that's what Rick is doing, and knocking it down before you even get the statements. So, and testament to Gabe and his training, and Julie, and we're hitting this in. And guys, we know, you may not be 100%. Rick is just outstanding with what he's doing right now, and starting with some warm leads, places where you use your credit card, you're a customer. And our business model is different than anything that's out there. Is we're going to pay you full commissions. And Rick had mentioned these guys were with their current provider for what, Rick?
Oh, one of them was 12 years. And in the physical therapies, they've been there for, probably about 6 or 7. So
right. And if I can interject just real quick, Rick, as this came to my mind, and I think Eric, and Julie, this is important for all the Rams. We all want the smooth transition, to the boarding, right? To the residual incomes coming in. And one thing that really stands out for me with Rick, and of course a couple of my other Rams that are actually boarded, is, and I know we come across this, and there's not a real answer out there, but I'm here to tell you that every one of these Rams are not caught up. They're not caught up a lot on the equipment, so they focus their attention knowing that there is equipment involved, whether it's compliant or non-compliant. But if you ask Rick the question today, every one of those merchants are processing with a swiper. They're not involved in multiple equipment. Am I correct to assume that, Rick?
That's correct. I actually called on 1 or 2 other establishments that had all kinds of sophisticated stuff, and Gabe and I talked, and I decided, at least for the first basically 10 that I put on board, I wanted to go and get some under my belt, learn what was going on, learn what it took to get them boarded and everything else. And now that I've been through that, now I feel comfortable going out with just about anybody. So I'll be calling on a lot of different types of things. But the big thing is, you don't want to get it confusing. You go into a restaurant, for example, and they've got 6 different stations. Yeah, we can do that stuff, but I feel like there's 5 other businesses out there that I can get boarded in a short period of time, and they've got
Bingo.
1 or 2 processes.
Bingo.
That's
it.
Right.
That's right.
And they're processing $36,000 a month or whatever. So there's a lot of businesses out there, like this one veterinarian that I'm getting ready to call on. I know they're processing over $100,000. So you know, and with one or two machines, and that's it. So.
That's right.
Great point. Yeah.
And the idea here, Eric and Julie and all the Rams and Rick and McGabe and all of our NSDs, what can we do to be able to provide that 100% service as NSDs to our Rams and our sales associates, and what can the Rams and sales associates provide 100% customer service to their merchants? And what is the end result? The end result is, how do we convert quick to board and make residual income? That, and you figure that out, you'll work with some of the bigger, more sophisticated, merchants out there, Eric. So anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put that in there for everybody.
You got it. Rick, any last words for our Rams in the field? What is your voice of wisdom? What are you going to leave us with today?
Sure. Well, thanks again for doing this. It's great. I've enjoyed the learning curve, but also more than anything is a couple of these took some additional phone calls, emails, type things, and no doubt about it. It most likely is not going to happen just a one-time close. The auto service I did, that wound up being about really one or two times, and that was it. But the other ones, they took multiple contacts, and again, you just got to stay on them a little bit. Number one, to get their statements. Number two, to then get the applications and get everything processed. And once you get through a couple of them, then I think you get your confidence into, hey, I can walk into just about any place and talk to them about their business. So I think that hopefully that helps.
And I think also, Eric, while we can keep Rick on just 5 minutes here, there's a couple of good questions that are popping up. That maybe we could help get some of these answers because obviously they're intrigued by listening to Rick. So if you want to cover those questions, or Julie.
And we've got Gabe, we've got Marilyn York rolling in behind. So let's just do two. Get to them. Get them answered, and then we're going to move to another Ram for a testimony.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
We're doubling up.
All right. Let's go ahead. Pick on a couple questions that you're comfortable with, or you want me to name them off, Eric?
Yeah. Go ahead. I thought you had them queued up.
So I think one of them that's standing out with a couple of different Rams, Rick, is how many hours? I mean, when you first started with us and currently, I mean, how much time are you putting into this thing? Realistically, I realize at times, you might have to put in more time because you're working on, trying to board like at Murphy's. But on an average, what do you think how much time you're putting into it?
Well, realistically, leading up till now, I only put in very little time. An hour or two here, hour or two there. Certainly not, 8 hours a day, even 3 days a week. I've worked very little on that. Almost embarrassed to say that, but I've got some other things going on, and
well, you got other businesses, you're right. Yeah.
Various, but this now, I've approached this that now that I'm seeing success with it, and hey, this is the real deal and all that stuff. To me, I'm going to be spending a lot more time. So hopefully it helps.
Okay, very, very good. And then and then the last question: does Rick use any specific First Direct Financial Card Connect handouts in the beginning? So in other words, when you walk in, I mean, obviously you know these people. When you walk in with your tablet, you walking in with a business card. What's your initial approach there?
Sure. I walked in with the $1,000 guarantee and a business card. Did not walk in with a tablet. I simply walked in, said, hey, how you guys doing? I want to talk about this, and simply, hey, listen, if I can get your statements, a statement from you, and do a comparison for you. I know I can save you money, and everyone that I've been into, the money, you guys have lived up to what you told me, And I think that's the you don't have to be real complicated. It's simply walk in, tell them who you are, and if you don't know them, you're introducing yourself. If you do know them, hey, I chit chat for a few minutes, and then I'm just down to business, because I'd rather. One of the big things that one of the physical therapists said to me was that, and I'm not a client of his by any means, but he said to me, he says, yeah, don't you want to get a no real quick? And that's the way I am. I'd rather have somebody tell me no. A great book out there called Go for No. I'd rather no, get a no, than have somebody jerk me around for 3 weeks. Well, maybe this. Look, hey, look, I'm going to save you money, okay? If you don't want to do business with me, or you don't want to save money, it's fine. Hey, we'll part friends. But I would rather save you money, and give me 10 minutes, give me a statement, I'll get it back to you, and hey, if I can save you money, we will. If not, we're going to part friends. And that's the way I approach everything anymore.
Very good.
Get that
Rick,
no.
thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, outstanding. And then, guys, what Rick was referring to for his flyer brochure that he is using, you can get that in a PDF. We obviously will send you, if you're out, let your NSD know. And I thought I had it dialed in, but of course you can get it on resources. And you've got a low price guarantee. You've got your PDF top, second from the left, from the top, and this is what he's leading with, along with his business card. And again, keeping it simple, leading with a question or two, and just having a conversation. So this is something that there's no magic, mystical, and actually this is for after the sale. This is the certificate that popped up here. So let me see if we can't find the other one. Well, it's on your site there. It looks like I just accidentally closed that. But use the $1,000 guarantee, but you're not even leading with that necessarily. You are having a conversation, and you are a problem solver, as Rick is. So let me go ahead and get our second presenter today, Marilyn. Great to see you here. I'm going to unmute her, do a couple muting. Now, Marilyn, we put together something for you today. You're our merchant ninja. Marilyn York, hopefully you like that. And for a little guy, this guy could kick some butt. So Marilyn, you are unmuted, and we're going to get to you today. Marilyn, Julie, go ahead and take the floor. It's all yours.
Hi everyone. Marilyn, can you hear me?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Perfect. Well, I just wanted to have you come on here again, and thank you for the nice letter that you wrote. That was very, very nice. And I guess I'm going to just cover, maybe, people will ask a couple questions of you, but I wanted to ask you a specific question. You have that countertop place that you just submitted the application for. I wanted to ask you how many times you actually talked to them before you got to close them, so people can have an idea that how much work you did for it.
Three
times.
3 times.
Wow. See, and that's great. Well, I know people were asking questions for Rick that didn't get answered, so I'll ask them to you.
Okay.
When you walk into a merchant, what are the 3 major selling points when you walk in to see a merchant for the first time, your introductory talk?
Well, so far, I've gone mostly to people that I do business with myself. The restaurant that I'm trying to get on board is where I go to breakfast every Saturday morning. And when I first started doing this, I approached her back in December, so this is a hard holdout. But I just told her, I said, I'd like to talk to you about some business. And so she gave me some time, and I told her about Card Connect and the program that we have and the $1,000 guarantee, and made an appointment to come back and see her when she wasn't waiting tables. She's the owner of the restaurant. And so I went back the next Thursday afternoon and sat down, told her what I wanted. It took me forever to get a statement from her because she is getting really good service from her present provider. Her rep is keeping in touch with her all the time. And whenever she has maybe a connection problem and her terminal might go down or something, he's right there to help her get it back up. And so she's been a little afraid to make any change, although it's going to be saving her money because she's getting such good service. I was in there yesterday and presented her the proposal to her. She finally got me the statement I needed, and showed her, what money we could save her. She's still thinking about it. But I sold the company. I sold the fact that we are saving her money, that we will be there for her as well, that she doesn't need to worry about giving up good service. And she's going to think about it and get back with me. That's not a for sure. I have another motorcycle shop. What I've been doing lately is going back through my leads, trying to close the leads that I have there. And I went back to this motorcycle shop. He's been putting me off and putting me off. He has through his bank, he has a Clover terminal. And, he's really happy with where he's at. We gave him a 10% savings. And I went in there yesterday, and I just walked in the door and said, okay, Lane, I need to know what's holding you back. And he just kind of got a grin on his face, and he said, well, it's just not on my priority list right now. And I said, you are aware that 10% savings is actually 20%? What you save there, you can apply somewhere else, and you're going to reduce your cost 10% with your processing and 10% somewhere else. And he does not want to switch. I gave him all the benefits of switching, and the money's just not important to him. It's not on his priority list. So he is the first one that I have deleted off of my leads list. Not that I won't be in touch with him again, but I'm trying to get a statement from his mother. And so, I'll be in touch. I have some other referrals that I got from my optometrist. By the way, I boarded my optometrist and my daycare person and my chiropractor. They're all in the boarding process. Well, actually, they're done. They're just waiting for the time when they don't have to pay an early termination fee to board, and that will be next month. So it's just a couple of weeks away. But when it comes to the statements, I was listening to Rick, and I have the same experience, Rick. You're awesome. I enjoyed very much what you had to say. But when I went to talk to the restaurant again yesterday, I told her, I said, because I know you, I'm going to give you this proposal. But I told her, I said, the reason I don't like to give them is because companies will take those and they'll go to their own processor and they'll get a reduction, and I don't work for your processor. I work for Card Connect and First Direct Financial. And it's my labor that's getting you this reduction, my gas, my time, and I'm not going to give it to your processor. And she totally agreed and said, don't worry, I won't show it to him. So, because I know her, I was able to do that. My own sister-in-law did that to me. So, but I'm not done with her yet either. And the thing of it is, when you, like we've been trained to do, when you listen to them, when you ask a question and then shut up, they will tell you what their concerns are. And I was able to discover with the restaurant that she was worried about not having the support when she needs it. She's interested in the savings, but she's afraid that the savings isn't going to be enough to offset her service that she's getting. The one that only took me 3 tries, I walked in, I was buying something from this, it's called Designer's Home Gallery, and I walked in and I ordered some stuff to clean the grout in my kitchen floor. And the owner was there. They put down some flooring for me in my house. So I had a relationship with them to start with. And he just happened to be there, and I said, I'd like to talk to you about some business then. So he took the time, and I told him what I was doing. He said, well, I do this through my bank, a friend of mine, through a friend of mine. And I didn't say a word. I just looked at him because I'd already told him I knew I could save him some money. And I wish I had $1 for every time they've said, but I've already got a really good rate. And we beat it every time. You know, I mean, I think his was, can't remember what his savings was. Let me see here. It was a 5% savings, which is 10%, which I pointed out, that he could use somewhere else. You know, they 5% somewhere else. And then when I went in yesterday, he gave me the statement. And then I went in yesterday to talk to him about the proposal. And he looked at it, listened to my 10% versus 5%, and, you know, it's coming on board. 3 visits.
Wow.
And it's because he's a savvy businessman. He knows what 10% can mean to his bottom line. And, you know, the other one, the motorcycle shop, this guy doesn't understand it yet.
Right, right.
And maybe sometime he will, you know.
Right.
But it doesn't work out every time. But every time I go away knowing that I offered them a great deal, and I feel good about that.
I got one question for you, Marilyn, and we're going to actually have to end it because we try to keep it at 30 minutes. But I appreciate all the information you just shared. Great, great stories. I've got a question from Albert. It says, Marilyn, can I ask you what the monthly volume of processing, the total for the monthly statement you were working on? So he's asking about the countertop place. Do you know that total off the top of your head? I think I do.
The total of his
monthly processing. Yes.
It's about $37,381.01.
That was accurate. Wow. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. I'm done. Marilyn, again, and also Rick, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories with us. You guys, it's so helpful. I just want to throw out there, I told you yesterday, I talked to Aram, and these testimonials really inspire people, and, you know, because they're doing the same thing you are doing, and what you're doing is working. So you just emulate what Rick and Marilyn are doing, and you will make that residual income. Eric?
Yeah, and guys, what a great Friday. I'm telling you what, I'm pumped and ready to go today. And guys, under your live daily trainings, For some of our newbies, you go to your training website. Let me get the arrow working here. There we go. So just on your web browser, go to your training website, go to your live training as well. Obviously, these are being recorded, and Fridays are so special. We're going to make sure that Sean is saving each and every one of these. Our Friday testimonial will be recorded. So when you're feeling down, when you're feeling blue, when you're not feeling 100%, everybody, in Arizona, we're the #1 flu state in the nation right now by far. So when you're not feeling it, this is kind of a nice pick-me-up. And it's all about your attitude. When you smile at somebody and look them in the eye, they tend to smile too. If you walk in and you're complaining right out of the gate, you're going to have a tough time with it. So your attitude changes the way people react around you. We all know this. And go ahead and check out these Friday trainings. These are outstanding. Julie, Gabe, thank you for getting some folks on here with us today. And we do appreciate everyone's work. You all are there. And I think that Rick and Marilyn pointed something out. Once you get that first one, they tend to roll downhill. And now's the time. Now's the time. There's no excuses now. There's no Christmas. There's no Valentine's Day. Whoever put Valentine's Day so close to Christmas ought to be shot, but that's over. There's nothing. We've got spring baseball. There's nothing on TV. No football. Go get them. So for Eric Rogers, Julie Rowe, Gabe Assor, we appreciate each and every one of you. Contact your national sales director with any questions, and we'll see you Monday. Have a safe weekend. And we'll see you Monday. Same place, same time. Thank you very much.